Hello, folks. This is your Vinny Career Guide. Today, I'm coming up and talking and discussing something hot topic in India that is all about and startup. So many people are so excited to know the startups, right? So let's see the demography of startups. So in India, the startups demography is being analyzed by NASCOM. NASCOM is a body who gonna organize and who gonna give ratings for these startups. So according to National Association of Software and Service Companies, NASCOM has been a very integral part of all the startups. So now last 5 years what and all happened, let's see in detail. So in 2017 the startup were 4750 startups. Wow, we said, wow, that's great. We get more employment in coming days. But in 2018, these startups got increased to 7,000 from 4,750 to 7,000 startups. And by 2019, we got some gift from COVID and the startup declined. But still, the startup number increased to 8,900 startups. By 2020, we reached 11,500 startups in India and 11,500 CEOs were born. We were so proud. And most of the CEOs are just 20, 25, 30, 30 within 30, I can say. So now we are proud of startups. But somewhere, these CEOs have just finished their degree and became a CEO. And many of the startups started declining after 2 3 years because those CEOs couldn't understand many things. So by 2021 we reached 12,500 startups in India. So 2020-21 we are in huge number of startups with huge recruitment. But somewhere there is a problem. India is known for its problem and Indians are known for solution. So now let's discuss about the problem and the solution is identified by you people who is listening to me. So today let me get in deeper section of understanding the problems in most of the startups in India. The first problem is funding. Every startup is behind fundraisers and looking for fund. I need fund. How much you invest? I want to become a unicorn. I will have invested 13 billion, 50 billion, 100 billion. So now everybody behind luck of lack of funding. So many startups are good, but they don't have funds. Many startups have got funds, but the company is not firm. They're declining day by day, but the fund is increasing day by day. So now the problem is with the funding in India is with the investors. Investors want to invest their money with the diversification. They thought if I divert in 10 companies, if I invest in 10 companies, at least one will become success. Through one I can gain money is their concept. So now many startups have given opportunities, many mushrooms are being growing, but who will become Manchurian is the game of the business now. So now I try to put little flavor of the food because it's all in the minute micro level seed which is put and the mushroom is grown. So the right environment, the right nourishment and the right opportunity will definitely will give rise to good funding, good success startups. So especially in the stage of startup, most of the people are facing with the business model and generating revenue model. Today, most of the startups are hiring youth, which is a good thing. But somewhere the youth has been to college and they have written exams and they have forgotten what they studied. And you people are hiring these kind of freshers and trying to do a startup with lot of energy. I agree, but you need a support of people who is having experience, who is having involvement, who is having interest. Without them, I think you will write an exam and people will forget in the month end and they will take up a new course in the next coming month as a salary. So now what is happening in most of the startups is they are investing, the money flow is good, but somewhere they just decline. So many startups in India, we have huge numbers, but success rate is very less. The reason being is the problems. What are the problems? Let's address the problem. Regulatory hurdles. There is lot and lot of regulatory hurdles. Many CEOs have just finished their education, became a CEO with investments, and they are not able to understand regulatory. So these regulatory need to be having a thorough advisory team. We need a people with advisory team with this blended with corporate and law and Indian system. We need to tell people that what are the hurdles as a startup. Most of the hurdles, they are not being shared to the right people on the right occasion, on the right situation to have success. So now the regulatory hurdles are getting on peak, which nobody is understanding. So regulatory sectors has to be understood, and which has to be cumbersome, and which has to be designed. The major effect in regulatory firms are faced by e-commerce today. The e-commerce are getting scared to grow. The reason being is regulatory hurdles. So now we need to make little flexibility with related to the growing companies at least. So the government should regularize the regulatory hurdles and make it ease and a smooth takeoff for Indian companies at least to grow bigger and go global. And the second biggest industry is healthcare, and healthcare is again is in a big hurdle because of regulatory firm which is not having a proper guidance, because we need people from medical association blended with Indian bar council, allowed with Indian industrial people to set these regulatories, because these regulatories are set by some people with little understanding, which is causing a huge trouble for the growth of the growing companies. Declining companies, we need to enhance again with different regulatory firms. So no, now we need to create a regulatory firm for basic level growth and advanced level growth. So we need to also support declining startups, because some startups are really good, the concept is good, the product is good, they are not getting right investment, or they are not getting the right opportunity or the platform in the market, or if they get everything, the regulatory firm making them decline. The next is talent shortage. In India, we are 140 crore plus people with talent shortage. What talent I'm talking is it's a large pool of technical talent. See, if there is a demand for uh, hiring process, so any people who is to be hired should be having more than 65% of soft skills, which was discovered by topmost 500 industries, which they went through an analysis and came up with this solution saying that we need talent pool with soft skills, not with hard skills. But in India, we have 80% of hard skills, 20% of soft skills, which is being a challenge in talent shortage. And putting across things, they are not expressive, they are creating things because they know hard skills. So now we need to differentiate and make them flexible of more of soft skills along with their hard skills to have a success in the talent shortage. So AI driven, every student in India are behind data science or becoming data scientists. I think this industry will decline. We need people with more of blockchain, we need more of boot camps, experienced people who has having a great knowledge involvement. See, these blockchain people has to spend at least 12 to 16 hours a day for making a company stronger, because that is where the company stays, because everything today is on online. So now we need people or youth or people with new talents has to concentrate on different sectors for next 5 years, because in India having a problem where one grows onion, everybody wants to grow onion. When everybody grows onion, the demand will decline, the supply will increase. Same thing has happened in farmer culture. Same thing is happening. Competition, creating competition unnecessarily and spoiling the nature without understanding environment, without understanding anything. We are producing people which is causing a huge damage for future. So we need people with more of AI background, with blockchain system, and that will help you in data science also. But somewhere over marketing is causing a big problem hurdle in all the sectors. See, we need people. See, earlier there was a problem with SAP, C plus, Java, but today there is a problem with freshers to hire with Java. They need experienced people for Java. So now it is not about data science. We need to also concentrate on networking, security, and also with balanced with blockchain and AI integrations. Infrastructure challenges. This is one of the biggest hurdle which causing after COVID situations, because we need to give work from home for the experienced people. For freshers, we need to engage them and develop the skills in them so that they will survive after 5 years and your firm also stays. Because many CEOs are not understanding, they became a CEO after 1 year, they are applying interviews in another company, which is the saddest part. As a CEO, you should be a CEO, and the leadership skills has to enhance and spread across to the world and become a global company and a global entity and a solution to the world. So now we need to work across more of leadership with respect to designing the infrastructure challenges. So we need to work across with power supply. So work from home can divert this power supply. A company with commercial challenges, commercial pay, high taxes, all these things can be diverted by giving more opportunity for experienced people to work from home and freshers to get engaged to develop skills with along with hybrid concept with experienced and freshers, because many companies are trying to tell we are Z generation, we are that generation, and getting startup and declining after 2 years or 3 years after all the investment is gone. So investors has to be really a diversified market, where I've done another conversation with respect to neurodiversity hiring process. You can check for that. I'll be linking that video along with this video. Next is the most important lacking system in the startup is mentorship. We lack a huge mentorship. The reason being is we are not having a people who can guide us, who can mentor us, who can drive us when we fall. It is not all about raising all the time, it is about the fall. When we fall, we need people who can guide and support and help us to the growth and the success of a firm. This is due to the shortage of experienced people on entrepreneurship. In the entrepreneurs, many CEOs have become CEOs without experience. Now an experienced person comes and tell anything to CEO, he is not ready to accept them, because this he has become a CEO after his degree doesn't make a person as a CEO. Might be, but not everybody. Let's accept the truth. Lack of mentorship is causing a huge damage in all the startups, and the growth is declining. And the next is the guidance and the support has to be in every step which they take as a startup. So Indian startup has several other hurdles, as I discussed, with respect to regulator. Regulatory hurdles can be a challenging for navigating the success of a startup. So hurdles are like uh, complex regulatory environment, because in India the government has done lot of changes, lot of modifications, and little strict, because many startups earlier year, like after 2000, year 2000, many startups have started up in a very bad pace, because the company was there and there was no employees. That kind of thing was there before. Now they have regulatory firm is so strong, they made a tough rules where they don't have any room to misguide anybody. So in these situations, I think it's a challenging situation, but we need to work across with lot of innovative, understanding, and emerging sectors. So, with those sectors, we need to approach the regulatory firms for a periodical changes to have flexibility and regular success with sustainability. And next would be is Indian regulatory imposes strict rules for all the startups, which can be an expensive, lifetime consuming, and which cannot meet the requirements. For example, if you take a startup in healthcare sector, most of the several regulatory is obtaining multiple licenses and approvals for launching a product, which is causing a delay for a quick success. The reason also being in quality, but we can regularize something with medical and differentiate with the other market. Like edutech is facing a huge hurdle today, but regulatory firms are very strict, which is not supportive, and they're declining in a very bad pace day by day. So, keeping all this in mind, another biggest hurdle is taxation. Many CEOs are still fiddling in understanding these taxations, and they're spending a huge money and not able to concentrate on innovation or creativity because they are trying to satisfy the government for sustainability with the rules and regulations of taxation, and which is causing a problem. As a CEO, as a firm, it is pretty challenging. Next was tax law taxes, filing multiple returns. It is little burdensome for many firms. I think we need to make a one-stop solution and a easy process for a better success. Next is intellectual property protection. This is most ignored in most of the firms. Intellectual property is something which has to be guided by a most experienced person. For example, a pilot, he's a pilot, he can fly aircraft. But if a doctor become a pilot, I think he can be a good solution because he can check all the pilots before flying and maintain the standards. We need these kind of hybrid structures with respect to law, CA, and with corporate knowledge people. Then intellectual property protection can be evolving in all the startup for facing more better challenges and protection for sustainability and growth. Next would be is foreign investment. This is a most favorite thing in India. Everybody is looking for foreign investment. FDI has given a lot of liberty in few sectors. I think we need to enhance this so that India grows in better with regulatory firm. Because once the FDI is introduced, there is a lot of misuse also. So we need to balance both the things to have a better success with respect to foreign investment. Overall, hurdles are different and difficult in startups in India to operate and grow in a sustainable manner. The right legal and regulatory guidance is most required, and these kind of people are lacking and very niche in the market, so that we are not able to find right information on the right time for the right success. Startup is navigating the challenges and spending more time rather than creating and improvising the product. They are spending in designing these regulatory and concentrating on sustainable business and objectives. Apart from this, which I have observed is we have a pool of technical talents. So now the hiring process is the biggest challenge for all the firms, especially startups. People are asking high packages, you hire them, but the output is very bad. So now you want to throw them, and when you take situation to lay off them, it is really challenging. So now it is very critical situation. We need to spend more time in hiring process and find the best pool of talents and give the right opportunity for people who has better soft skills, flexible, and who is having a good communication and flexibility and involvement and evolving in the growth of the company. So we need people with talent pools like data science and analytical skills, because every day everything today is data driven and decision is made through data. So now data driven decisions are increasing and giving more importance for the business. So in demanding of data scientists and analytics, this is a biggest challenge to find the right people for the right success. However, the shortage of these pool are more and more and becoming niche in the market, where we are blooded or we are creating a lot of rivalry in huge packages, and the company is in burden. So I think we need to diversify this market with neurodiversity and giving more opportunity for new talents, and who is more involving and more creative and more soft skill based people. And next demanding thing is in artificial intelligence and machine learning. AI and machine learning is taking over all the sectors, from health, financial, edutech, you name a sector, AI is taken over. And the machine learning is slowly evolving, controlling all the decision making. So now we need to work across in multiple layer to get the right output. So most of the startups are trying to work across in these field and facing challenges with respect to security, data, and management. Apart from this, AI based solution is somewhere helping them, but still this cyber security and people confidence and trust in working together with multiple cultural is it's little pretty challenging for any startups. Next would be is product management. I'm because all the people are behind the product and marketing and telling we need aggressive people, we need aggressive people. I say you create a product in such a management level where the demand is created. When there is a demand, if you create a product, I think there is no need to be aggressive on your marketing strategy. So this is what another problem is. They have designed the product, they're keeping the product and taking all the marketing people, and which is shuffling 6 months frequently, because they are not able to have a quick success, because marketing team cannot do anything. We need to create a situation of the product which is driven by the product itself, that is lacking. And this is getting very critical situations in all the startups, and there is a shortage with experienced people to put across the product to the right people, and they're facing a lot of challenges in finding the professional right skills and experience team. So team and leadership plays a major role for your product success. So that is where you need to concentrate and work across, rather than looking out for marketing, traditional marketing. So traditional marketing is something which is today is completely overtaken, because people are so smart. uh, they want a quick solution with whatever we put across as a product. So now we need to work across in a multiple angle or dimension to have a success on particular product. And next would be is overall talent shortages there. Significant challenge for startup is government programs and industrial collaborations. So this has to be enhanced, fill the gap with related to skills, and encourage the development with sustainability in different sectors. And startups attract huge talent, offering competitive salaries. So now the salary is something which is very sensitive to make a decision as a firm. So we need people who is flexible to work and who is mentoring and advisory attitude. So then we can create a growth and learning and sustainable business as a startup. Otherwise, the startup is just declining very quickly overnight. Nobody is bothered. See, so many companies were impacting us, but somewhere they just decline. Like when Flipkart started, there was a company called Make My Gift or something. I don't remember the name. So this company was started up and declined. It was very innovative, creative, huge packages. But what I mean to say is, we don't need this kind of declining things, because we need to go global very soon. In that case, we need to have a people who is creating things and making the firm sustainable. They need to understand revenue model, they need to understand the hierarchy, and they should be ready to flexible with their hierarchies. It is not about one person ruling everything. It has to be shuffle in all the sectors, then only the company and the people sustain. And 5G has come. I think this will cover up a lot of problems and the networking issues, and data driven world will be having a quickest solution with 5G network, which is already implemented in most of the companies in experimental manner. So next would be is power supply might be a biggest concern in coming days. Already Delhi, recently today in morning news, uh, Delhi has taken back all the subsidies, and they're charging because in India the river flows when it rains. We don't have any lifetime rivers. So lifetime rivers flows only when there is rain. So when there is a rain, we have electricity. But now this is getting a little challenging. We have a nuclear plants are coming up, but still all these nuclear plants are like a bomb, which is pretty challenging for the environment if anything goes wrong. But we need to find some alternative source which can be more economical and feasible with less cost. So power supply might be a concern for most of the startups. Like they have started up a industry, they have started up a firm. AC is required, fans are required. uh, Multiple things starts up. Once if you set up as a company, it is not about the product anymore. It is about keeping the people in a good environment. Is a pretty challenging thing. And after COVID, I think all these things is diversified, which is good, and we need to support more. And maybe we can include travel and work and move around different places and work. I think that's where we can work across with the physically mentally challenging things with related to stress can be managed. So it is all about understanding and matching the situations. And outdated logistic transportation networks, it is again a hurdle because of huge population, huge country. We have hurdles with respect to situations like logistics, coming the products on maintaining their dates, supply, demand, everything has to be balanced way. So natural resources, CSR has to be enhanced in this sector so that we'll not face much problem. If the problem comes, CSR of the company can balance it. Next is lack of co-work space. I think plug and play offices have come up a lot in a bigger way. I think this is a good thing, but somewhere it is concerned with the networking and the security of data. So apart from that, I think if we take care of that, it's a good opportunity for people to work across and become a great success in coming days. And limited access for funding, again funding plays a major role, which has a limited access. A company as a startup should be relaxed with regulatory and funding at least for 5 years so that they can concentrate on the product and innovation and have a good success globally. Overall, these infrastructure challenges are significant, and startups in India are initiated by government and private sectors, which is supportive. And still, we need to regularize a lot of changes, and we need to come up with required changes and reach out to right people so that they make the right changes in the right time. Because these governments doesn't take decisions so quickly, that is causing a huge destruction for startups. Example, edutech is completely helpless and declining day by day, which would have made a huge success for this kind of a country with huge population. But somewhere it is slowly getting declined. I feel we need to regularize something and support this edutech very soon. And also parallelly, we need to support medical sectors and develop better and comfortable societies. And cloud computing, again maintaining security cost, because we need to create all these things in Indian level so that we can have quick success, because we are dependent more on other things outside. So if anything goes wrong there, we are affected here. So that is causing a huge hurdle with respect to cloud computing and virtual teams. So as a startup, I think we have to get prepared with alternatives to have a quick success with all the startups. Next is mentorship. This is completely missing in all the startups because they are not ready to take any advice. They think fantasy and they try to create a product and they try to market and decline and say we are gone. That is should not happen as a startup. See, every year startups are increasing, but how many are successful? So we need something, role models or impressive structures, framework to better success in a standard manner. So as a startup, we need to have more mentors, more advisory boards, more supportive things to contribute for better success of India in the startup field. And sectors wise has to be enhanced. It is not just one sector is concentrated. And cultural barriers, India is a country, every 50 kilometers language changes, people changes, food changes, but we all one. And I think we need to create a situation in the work culture where we have diversified people with different cultures and work together so that we have more sustainability. Otherwise groupism forms, rivalry starts, and CEO, as a CEO, he will be controlled by the employees. That should not happen in any startups. So startups should be working across with neurodiversity and also work with different cultural, cross-cultural hiring process and creating a better, good environment for work. And cultural barriers is always a fiddling thing in Indian startups. I think we need to concentrate and support more of youth to get adopted for the future. Lack of trust. See, trust is not created or not happens. Sorry, it is not created or it is not done. It just happens. You create, it will happen. So creating happening things with related to trust is most important in all the startups because people should trust the product which is coming out from any startup. So this is one of the challenging part in India we are facing. And limited access. See, people are traveling 60 kilometers, 3 hours, 2 hours for reaching office. I think we cannot get productivity from that kind of a person who's traveling because he is more concerned to travel back again. That's was his concern. I don't think he will have productivity or efficiency in working culture because he is exhausted by traveling. So you cannot create more comfort. I think we need to create work from home or hybrid concept or travel and work concept where they will have more time with family and balanced life. So that's where we need to work across as a startup. Maybe a freshers can come and work full time, and experienced people can work on hybrid. Limited access which has to be worked across with different cities, towns, and as a hiring process, HR need to concentrate on limited access, which is helps your productivity in a very big way. Mentorship, again, mentorship has to be implemented. Advisory board discussion, meetings, all these kind of things has to be given priority and given with lot of pedagogy. It is not about just putting across them in some meeting for 3 hours. Put them under pedagogy with game or entertainment or interactions. I think that will definitely help employees culture and mentorship. Overall, mentorship is a significant challenging part in most of the startups as an initiative uh, taken by a CEO or a firm. So we need to create more of incubators, we need to create more of opportunity gainers, and we need to create more of advisory guidance and people with experience. So I try to put across few things which I have worked across, but somewhere startups has to have some good solid foundation before they support or they come up evolve to a maturity stage. See, after maturity stage it's all about boosting or declining. Most of the startups create in a quickest way, come to maturity and decline. So that should not decline anymore. As a startup, we need to learn and prepare for boosting up for the next level of products. Somewhere this was a key success for all the foreign investment to do a startup in India. So maturity period, people are just satisfied and declining. They might be declining because of regulatory, or it might be declining because of lack of innovation in their products. Restricted sectors. See, we in India we have a lot of restricted sectors like defense restricts. We have atomic energy restricts, railways restricted, foreign investment has to be little flexible and give more opportunity for money flow in the middle class level and lower class, because that's where India stands. But that is pretty challenging in the startups, while hiring or giving opportunity for skilled people. So it is in a different dimensions actually. Limited investments, because people are looking for investment when the product is getting matured. They don't get right investment, especially with respect to retail sector, banking, insurance are hugely controlled with FDI, and investment is allowed, but somewhere we need to diversify this investment up out of this box of these three sectors. Maybe FPO. I think FPO has become a huge success in India, but somewhere it has started getting into maturity and declining. I think we need to enhance it and support more and generate more revenue in a different level of different class and category. So that's where foreign investment and investors has to be discussed across and evolve. And approval process, I think in India it is pretty challenging to go across, get some things done in a quickest way. Today most of the things are getting online, but still maybe we can create some one stop solution for all the things. For startups will definitely help. Maybe startups can be defined with age and graded with stages, stage 1, stage 2, like that, so that we can work across and give more priority for which is growing and having success. Because we are many successful startups are declined very badly because we didn't identify on the right time. So timing is most important in approval process. I think we need to be little flexible as a startups to reach out to the right people on the right time for the right situations. Regulatory hurdles again has to be little flexible. I think we, as a CEOs, as a firms, as a head, we need to reach out in the social medias, come up with demanding things to reach out the right people to change the regulatory and make it flexible and create a win-win situations across all the sectors. And currency risk, people says American dollar is good, some people says euros are good, some people says Indian rupee will take over, and in between we have Bitcoin. So across all, we have a huge challenge in currency risk. So now investors are concerned. We are also concerned to get the returns in which currency, which output, and it is all getting conflict. So I think we need to regularize this point in currency risk and come up with a solution and create a win-win situation where foreign investors are increases in India, so that we have less risk with currency, so that we can concentrate and develop the business in a better way to get more job opportunities and generate quick revenue for everybody. So that's where Indian success of startups lies, particularly for those who is operating in restricted sectors required significant capital investment. So restricted sectors are not giving. So that's what which was in my mind. See, if we create a stage wise or ranking wise, if whoever is coming on top, I think if we support them, they will become top in a very quickest way. I think that's the way of becoming success with related to regulatory and funding. So Indian government has to uh, make little things flexible with innovations and understanding, create a blue ocean concept, and give more opportunity across different level of work and revenue generation to uh, employment, because employment is getting stuck somewhere and having a little challenging things, especially with respect to packages. Freshers was also want high package. Experienced people are actually compromising for the packages, which is not a good thing, because once a experienced person get compromised, somewhere he will start declining. Once the leadership declines, I think everybody as a startup will decline. So we need people with skills, involvement, and understanding with the structure and the revenue generation model of a company which they work for. And we need to support and promote more of global level of achievements, and that's where Indian success is there. We might have in 2017 we had 4750 startups. That's okay, but today we have reached more than 15,000 startups by 2022. NASCOM has not released the latest count, but approximately I feel we are in huge numbers. So in all the metropolitan cities many youth are coming up, but I don't want youth to decline or get demotivated with their startups, because that's what is happening. Many youth is coming with lot of investment, lot of creativity involvement, and they're not getting a right success. When there is no right success, the company is declining and the nation is not identifying, or they are not able to generate more revenue or more employment because of declining. A good example would be is edutech. I think we need to concentrate and support in a better manner of using common sense in understanding things along with AI integration, and promote things which is required for next 5 years, because we are just working on things which is for current and getting messed up, and for future we are completely messed, like today's generation. Earlier there was a demand for C plus Java, SAP and other programs, but somewhere today everybody started talking about data and data science. Everybody is doing data science. I think we'll grow more onions and decline the price as unemployed. So I don't want that to happen. We need proper guidance, proper channel to reach the futuristic goal of youth and India. And as a nation we need to work across in modifying things as per the demand, because we are just stuck with the previous structure and we are not ready to change. So that is causing a huge hurdle in all the startups. And as a CEOs, you might be young, you are good, but somewhere please do consider experienced people and take their advisory. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't work, kick it. Good luck for all the CEOs looking for opportunity. Your Vinny career guide. Please do share my conversation and talk on your WhatsApp groups, in your family groups, and also share this on your social media and support me so that I don't be unemployed anymore for a long time. So you have any career guide looking for opportunity and comments, please do suggest. Do contact me on LinkedIn. Under my video, you can also connect me on Spotify, and do connect me and support me, my channel, so that it will motivate me to create more concept like this. Your Vinny career guide signing off. Have a happy time with your successful startups. Thank you.